Oh, good morning, Yankees universe. Welcome back to another episode of the Yankees Morning Brew on this Thursday, October 12th. Like always, I'm joined by my co-host, Mr. TC Stills. Check out the intro, and we will be right back.
Really, y'all don't know this, y'all in danger. I'm a threat. I'm a gamble with your life, cause you know that it's a bet. You know I ain't letting up, my foot is on your neck. Take my word for it, it's a promise and a threat. Really, y'all don't know this, y'all in danger. I'm a threat. I'm a gamble with your life, cause you know that it's a bet. You know I ain't letting up, my foot is on your neck. Take my word for it, it's a promise and a threat.
Oh, like I said, good morning, Yankees universe. Welcome back to another episode of the Yankees Morning Brew. Like always, I'm your guy, Hector. This is my co-host, Mr. TC Stills. All you Yankee fans out there, wake up and get your coffee. TC, how you feeling this morning, big fella? Oh, you muted, TC. Don't know how.
My bad. I was on mute. Sorry. Got my coffee. I'm ready. I'm good.
Ready to go?
Yeah.
Let's go.
Yeah. Let's do it. How you doing?
I'm doing good, bro. Doing as best as I can. Shout out to the chat. Yeah. I appreciate all you guys out there. If you guys can, please smack that like button. And if you're watching this for the first time, hit the subscribe button as well. It helps us out, bringing more Yankee fans to the conversation. Because TC, we gotta have this convo, right? Because the news came out yesterday how Steinbrenner, his secret meeting that they had in Tampa with like the Yankees brass, and Brian Cashman was there, Aaron Boone was there, Randy Levine was there, some of his nephews as well. So it's a family business. We got to talk about the secret meeting. It's like the Davos, like when billionaires get together to plan out the downfall of society. That's what it felt like yesterday when the news came out. But before we get into that, let's do a little bit of roll call. Shout out to my friend, the one and only Anna Marie in the chat. Anna Marie, how you doing?
Anna, how you doing?
Shout out my guy, Razil the Great. I appreciate you, Razil, sharing us on Twitter or X. For me, it's always going to be Twitter.
The mic is okay, Razil. I didn't blow it out. Sorry.
Yeah, the mic is good. Sean Brown is in the building. Sean Brown, how you doing? Uncle Grandpa Tats is in the building. Tats, how you doing? My guy Nathan Ramatandra from the NNR Hour. Nathan, how you doing, good fella? We got Alan Landsman in the building. My guy NFE is in the building. Mi hermana de la isla, Anthony Medina is in the building. Medina, how you doing? Of course, we appreciate my guy Dan C for showing up. Dan C, how you doing? And of course, we got the one and only Seven. He says, Hal says that changes are coming. Probably a new donut shop in the staff office, which, I could go for a donut right now, right? Because the news came out. The Yankees are revamping the clubhouse. They're putting in sleep pods and better dining quarters. They're adding Xbox 360s and PS5s. They're going to have Fortnites on the iPads. Everything is looking good in Yankee land. TC, what's your thoughts?
Yeah, they got to be comfortable. Things are rough for baseball players. They don't have enough. They don't get fed. They don't sleep enough. It's rough. Rough sledding for the pro players. It's okay, whatever. Anyway, so this meeting. Who knows what they're talking about? Changes. No what changes? What are you gonna do? You putting new flavored Gatorade or something? I mean, honestly,
I'm a fan of the blue Gatorade myself. I grew up liking the blue Gatorade, but now we got to talk about it, right? So we're gonna drop the transition. We'll be right back. Because they said, what's TC at? Where'd he go? The TC's supposed to be right there. Where's TC at? There's TC. Where's TC at? I don't know where TC's at. We got buttons being pressed and people don't know what's going on. But it came out yesterday how Steinbrenner says the Yankees will make changes. The Associated Press writes, the Yankees owner Hal Steinbrenner says the team might make personnel changes after 3 days of meetings last week. that follow New York's worst season in 3 decades. This is what Howe said. We're going to make some changes. Some may be more subtle than others, Steinbrenner said on Wednesday. During a little sports conference. I don't know what was going on there, but possibly personnel, but not necessarily personal. I can't understand what he talks about. It could be practice. It could be the way we communicate. They went on to write, Steinbrenner said a group of 15 team officials met in Tampa, that secret meeting we're talking about. At times, it got a little dicey, but it was respectful. He said, Steinbrenner recalled asking the group to check the egos at the doors. Among the topics that were player health, clubhouse culture, analytics, and scouting. Now, check the egos at the door. What egos are we checking when it comes to what's going on? There's no egos. Like, I don't get it, TC. I want your thoughts. Even though you're not in the screen, I do hear you. I'm just trying to figure it out why you're not there.
Yeah, I'm still here. I'm not. Everyone thinks I'm. Hey, there we go. Yeah. There
you go.
Yeah, like we've been saying, it's just this double talk. This like they're running for office. It's just tell us one thing, do another. There was a good quote that from this article. I'm not sure it was. They say that Hal is as ambiguous as George was outrageous, and that's a great quote because we don't know what Hal is even doing. But he says this, does this. George, we knew he would be up in arms. Everyone's fired. I know we've said that some of his moves were a little rash. He wanted to get rid of Bernie, he wanted to get rid of, he got rid of Fred McGriff. Certain moves, yes, I get it. But the guy, we knew he was a winner. He wanted to win. He was upset. Things had to change. With this group, they say they want change, but nothing. They're bringing back everybody. It just. Yeah, it's just so frustrating. We say it over and over and over. Saying that they were going to have, an outside organization come in and then change it and say, right here, possibly personnel, but not necessarily personnel. What are you talking about?
What does that even mean?
What is that?
First off, I just want to say, what I got from this is just the same old Yankees with the same old nonsense, right? Because they talk about changes, right? But both Brian Cashman and Aaron Boone were in that meeting. That goes to show me when it comes to those two, no changes are going to happen, right? No. So we got to look back and reflect the issue that's been going on with the Yankees. It has been because of Brian Cashman. Like there's no one else that deserves any blame or any fault. It falls on Brian Cashman. Yes, you could say, the players, they can't stay healthy, injuries, 4 out of your 5 starting pitchers were injured. Aaron Judge was injured for 2 months. Cool. You could have those conversations, but you're missing the context. And the context is Brian Cashman didn't build a team around Aaron Judge. No. Look at the Texas Rangers. I brought it up on the last show. The Texas Rangers, they lost Jacob deGrom, who was their big signing. Right? Yep. They lost Max Scherzer. What did they do? Did they just stay put and just say, we're going to fold our hands and hopefully these guys come back? No. Whenever there was an issue, they went out there and they addressed it via the trade market. And that's something that Brian Cashman did not do this season.
No, he did not.
Whatever evaluation is going to happen, whatever evaluation that should happen, the first suspect, it should be Brian Cashman. Right,
of course.
We're going to reflect on Brian Cashman's. Absolutely, he's the architect. We are going to reflect on Brian Cashman's career since the Yankees won a championship. So since 2009. So the 2010 offseason, one of the first moves that he did was allowing the World Series MVP and Hideki Matsui to walk away. Who did he sign to replace Hideki Matsui? Nick Johnson. Nick Johnson didn't even play 100 games for the Yankees in 2010. On top of it, he decided to trade Melky Cabrera to the Atlanta Braves for Javier Vasquez. The same Javier Vasquez
Came back, right? Yeah.
2004, and who you traded away to get Randy Johnson, that Javier Vasquez. When you look at 2011 and that dumpster fire of a season,
Recycled players.
he signed Freddie Garcia, who was washed up, Eric Chavez, who was washed up, Brian Anderson, who was washed up. And what happened? We got destroyed by the Detroit Tigers, right? 2012. We traded for Michael Pineda. Again, re-signing washed up Freddie Garcia, bringing back Eric Chavez again, getting Andrew Jones on the team, trading for Ichiro Suzuki when he was 39 years old. What else do I need to say? Oh, and again, we got screwed over and we got destroyed by the Detroit Tigers again in the postseason. 2013 and 2014 were both wash seasons. When you look at it, he signed Ichiro, who was 40. He signed Kevin Youkilis. He signed Travis Hafner. He traded for Vernon Wells.
All past their prime. Those guys were good in years prior. That's his MO, is to get these guys after they've been good, thinking that they're going to be good again, just like he did with Josh Donaldson.
2015. The beginning of the 2015 season was pretty good. We was number one in the AL East for a majority of the season, but then both Beltran and Alex Rodriguez came back to earth. The Yankees finished the season winning the wild card, and we got destroyed by our nemesis, the Houston Astros, in that wild card game. 2016, there was nothing.
What year was the when we had Raul Ibanez? That year that he beat the Orioles with those 2 home runs.
I think that was
14, 13.
No. There's 14. We weren't in the postseason. I think it was 2012 that Raul Ibanez did that magic.
Okay. 2012.
Yeah, that was 2012. But 2016, he did nothing in the offseason. Literally nothing in the offseason to improve the team. What happened? They forced Alex Rodriguez to retire before his 700th home run. We traded away Carlos Beltran. We traded away Brian McCann. We traded away Aroldis Chapman. We got back Gleyber Torres. That was pretty good. But then 2017, the baby bombers, 2016 was also the summer of Gary Sanchez. But 2017, did we do anything to build on that momentum that the young kids did? I mean, the young kids built that early part of the season. We could have traded for Justin Verlander, but because of the luxury tax, he said, no, we're not going to trade for Justin Verlander. And what happened? Verlander got traded to the Astros, and then they won a World Series. Isn't that crazy, TC Stills? Right? Let's look at it. 2018, Brian Cashman, he got his contract extension. He struck out on Shohei Ohtani. So instead of signing JD Martinez, he decided to, you know what? I'm going to trade for a carbon copy, older version of Aaron Judge with an injury history and a big contract attached to him, and Giancarlo Stanton. Now, I'm going to take a pause right here. When it comes to Stanton's contract, and I'll highlight some of you folks that are in the chat as well. When it comes to Giancarlo Stanton in 2018, I think the Yankee fan base at the time when we traded for Stanton was 50-50, right? Some of the fan base loved the move. Some of the fan base didn't understand the move. I was one of those that I didn't understand the move trading for Giancarlo Stanton, knowing that Bryce Harper was available the following off season. I understand you struck out on Shohei Ohtani. You struck out. You couldn't get the big fish in Shohei. But you pivoted to a guy who, like I said, was a carbon copy, older version of a player you already had on your team in Aaron Judge.
Yeah, exactly.
Folks in the chat, let me know, what was your thoughts when the Yankees traded for Giancarlo Stanton at the time? And be honest, TC, I want to ask you, and be as honest as you can. Were you in love with that move when they traded for Giancarlo?
Yes and no. I mean, at the time, he was coming off that 50s, 59 home run season and
MVP.
MVP year, and match him up with Aaron Judge in that lineup. You're thinking, Bash Brothers back in, with Canseco McGuire, and you're getting excited. Everybody loves the home run ball, but in the back of my mind, I'm thinking, this contract's going to bite us. He's not a real athletic outfielder. We need to get more athletic. We need to get younger. They tried to, they were starting to bring up the young kids, but we all know what happened there. They all never, you know, other than Judge, none of them worked out. So yeah, I was 50-50 on it. I mean, we didn't give up much. We gave up Sterling Castro, right?
Yeah.
That didn't matter. The money, I don't care. It's what is happening now. They are stuck with Stanton. They can't get rid of him, and he's clogging up, you know, a roster spot, a DH spot. We can't put him anywhere because, you know, one false move and his leg will blow up, and it's just, yeah, it's hurting us now. And looking back and looking at what Harper's doing now in the playoffs, I mean, we could have had a couple of World Series appearances if we had Harper and Judge. I mean, that's no question about that.
Yeah, we'll get to Harper momentarily. I want to just focus on the Giancarlo Stanton bit, a part of it, right? Because I'm definitely going to bring up Harper. Trust me, we're definitely going to have that conversation. My guy Razil said in the chat, hold on, I want to bring it up. He said, I was actually excited. He was coming off of an MVP season, but I did not understand the fit. And that's the point. The fit on the team. When you look at his numbers, like I said, coming off of winning the MVP in the National League, 59 home runs. Anyone would take that type of production and add it on their team. But when you look at how your team is constructed, you already had someone who hit 50 home runs and who was playing the same position in right field and who was more athletic in Aaron Judge. Like you said, TC, at the time, we needed either a left fielder or a center fielder. Regardless how you look at it, we could move Aaron Hicks at the time to left field, or we needed a left fielder. Giancarlo Stanton never played left field for the Miami Marlins in his career. And when you look at left field in Yankee Stadium, you need someone who can also be a center fielder. That's why when Hideki Matsui came over, he was a center fielder in Japan. The Yankees put him in left field, and he was able to do well in left field. That's what the Yankees need. Not Giancarlo Stanton, who's lumbering out there in the outfield, who looks slow as clay out there. That's not what you need. That's definitely not what you need.
No, roster construction we saw back then wasn't correct. I mean, he's blown it for years. You just pointed it out since 2009. So.
Yeah. Also, we got 38 people in the building. If you guys can, please smack that like button. And if you're watching this for the first time, hit the sub button as well. Dan C said Cashman missed out on Ohtani and immediately pivot to Stanton. Terrible judgment for a GM. Absolutely. And like Tat says, we traded for A-Rod, who was playing shortstop, and we moved him to third base. Stanton was brought over, and they put him at DH rather than giving him the left field spot. And they tried to give him the left field spot. It's just defensively, he couldn't hack it out there as a left fielder. He just couldn't.
Yeah. And that's a problem with the Yankees. They bring these guys over, they have a position, then they want to move them to somewhere else. And it just doesn't work out. Trying to convert, you know, all these infielders to outfielders and putting guys, you know, out of position, first base, you know, making this guy play, you know, we want Stanton in left and he's a right fielder. It's not working out. It's like, you know, just like Little League. Oh,
Richie Martinez, I appreciate you, my guy. Richie, see you again in the chat, my guy. Appreciate you, bro. Go ahead, TC.
Yeah, no, I mean, you can't treat a major league team like it's a little league. Like everybody plays a different position. It's not that way. And we have too many utility type guys and washed up guys and guys that we have like a team full of bench players. When are we going to get guys that have positions and are comfortable with their position, where they bat in the lineup, you know, day in, day out, not, you know, every day having to check, where am I batting? Where am I playing? What glove do I need to bring? I mean, it's mind boggling how they're treating this team. I mean, I hope they're taking notes of these teams like Texas, Houston, Phillies. I mean, Arizona. I mean, look at this. I mean, these teams are young, athletic. I mean, yeah, they have some guys that play multiple positions, but day in, day out, they know where they're at. And this style of baseball, it's not working. It's not.
It's definitely not, right? Brian Hoach put out there how Steinbrenner said that there could possibly be changes coming during the offseason, but not necessarily.
Yeah.
And that's what gets me. You're saying that changes could come, but not necessarily. Whatever. Steinbrenner also included it may be subtle. Brian Cashman is under contract through 2026. Aaron Boone is signed through 2024 with a club option for 2025. When it comes down to it, like I said, both Brian Cashman and Aaron Boone, I've been saying this for a while. They're coming back next year. Yesterday was just the icing on the cake, right? Because they were both in these meetings. If they weren't coming back, they wouldn't be in these meetings. But the fact that both of them were in attendance for this meeting, that just confirms that they're both coming back. My guy Chris Kreiner also put out there how Steinbrenner below on what happened during the team meetings in Tampa last week. We're going to be making some changes. Some may be more subtle than others. I think we've uncovered certain things that we could do better. I don't know what those things are. Maybe when it comes to the analytics, somebody's going to fall on the sword. But like I've been saying, it's not Brian Cashman and it's not Aaron Boone. And this is how you're going to attack it, being this is your most embarrassing season since 1992. You remember going into the season, the over and under, right? The over and under was like 92, 93 wins, right? That wasn't at the over and under going into the season.
Something like that.
Right? We were talking about 92, 93, 94 wins, right? That was the over and under. We 82 wins. 82 wins. 12 games under the over and under that was predicted early going into the season.
A lot of games.
That's a big difference. That's a big drop off.
Yeah. And going into the season, you pretty much had the same team as last year with Rodon, and you thought, this team, we got better. We got better, and they didn't. They got completely worse. Changes are needed. Them saying they uncovered certain things. Really, we've been screaming to you guys all season of what needs to be changed, and you didn't do anything. You waited until September to bring up the kids that we told you to bring up in July, but we don't know, right? We don't know anything about baseball. We have nothing.
No. And like I've been saying, TC, I have no faith in Brian Cashman. I have no faith whatsoever in Brian Cashman. Zero faith, right? But I'm gonna keep on saying this. The only reason I have faith in House Steinbrenner was the fact that he was embarrassed this season and last season. That is the only thing I give to House Steinbrenner, because last year he got booed when Derek Jeter was there at the stadium by the fans. This year, fans were calling for Brian Cashman to be fired and were booing House Steinbrenner. And like I said, there's a reason why House Steinbrenner was not in attendance during the Old Timers game, because fans would have booed him again, and he knows that, right?
Yeah.
So that's why I said I have faith in House Steinbrenner, because he was embarrassed. And what happens when billionaires get embarrassed? They spend money, whether that's in the good way or whether that's in the bad way. We have to see. But what House Steinbrenner has to do in this offseason, House Steinbrenner has to write some checks that are going to make him feel uncomfortable. He has to write some uncomfortable checks this offseason, whether that be to Cody Bellinger, who had a bounce back season, but he was injury prone over the last few seasons. And as well, he wasn't the same as he was during his MVP run, right? So he had a bounce back season this year. If we sign Cody Bellinger, would that be uncomfortable for House Steinbrenner? Absolutely. But he has to do the uncomfortable things this offseason to fix the ship that has been steered in the wrong direction. Same thing with Yamamoto. He may be a top pitching coming out of Japan, probably one of the best pitchers to come out of Japan, but he is still an uncertain. You're going to invest $200 million in an uncertainty, and you have to do it no matter how uncomfortable it gets. When it comes to calling up the San Diego Padres and making a deal for Juan Soto, House Steinbrenner, it may be uncomfortable because you may have to crack the bank open for $400 million to sign him to an extension, but you have to get uncomfortable this offseason in order to fix the ship that is sinking right now.
Yeah. Yeah, 100%. I mean, it is. It's gonna reflect on his, the bottom line, the money, and he has to. I mean, it's gonna hurt, but that's the change. I mean, if you just come back with the same team, maybe you pick up an outfielder, not a Juan Soto or not a Bellinger. This team is going nowhere. They're going nowhere. You have to make big moves. I'm not screaming for I'll get 5 superstar players. How about let's get the right players? Bellinger does make sense. So does Yamamoto. Those are two to start with. Those are must gets. Then you start looking at the rest of your fill out your team. You got DJ LeMahieu. What are you going to do with him? Is he going to be your everyday third baseman or utility guy? What are you going to do with Stanton? Is he going to be your DH? I mean, there's so many question marks. You got to bring in some more athletic players. You got to have to make some moves, some trades. Some trades have to happen. There's not enough in the free agent market to make any change on this team. Just by getting Bellinger and Yamamoto, I don't really think it puts them over the top. It might get them closer to maybe, the Orioles, maybe Tampa, maybe they're, a 90-win team now. I don't know. But you gotta get over the top. You gotta beat the Houston Astros. You gotta put yourself out there to not just be a postseason team. You gotta be a championship team, like they were in the 90s and the early 2000s. Look at that. Look at the roster construction and build on that. If they could bring in and coaching as well, they got to bring in some championship caliber coaching and some veteran presence on the bench for Aaron Boone. That's a must change too. So it's not just the players.
I'm not sure if you saw the clip circulating around with Alex Rodriguez talking about Bruce Bochy, but Bochy, he was at home for 3 seasons.
Yeah, him and
sitting on the couch.
Yep.
And what happens? He brings the Texas Rangers back to the ALCS, sweeping the Baltimore Orioles. The same Baltimore Orioles that everybody said, here comes the Orioles. Here comes the young and improved Orioles, 100 wins. Yeah. The Texas Rangers took care of them. Like
with
it was
no DeGrom
nothing.
And no Scherzer.
No DeGrom, no Scherzer. Like I said, Mitch Garver was their 3-hole hitter in a couple of the games.
This Evan Carter kid out of nowhere. Yeah, look at this.
I want to highlight some of the people that are in the chat. Shout out to Melanie A that's in the building. Melanie A said, sorry, but Bellinger will be a bust here. Go for Soto. Listen, I would rather Juan Soto than Cody Bellinger.
Yes.
But if Cody Bellinger is out there and Juan Soto's not available, I'm not sure if Cody Bellinger will be a bust. I don't have a crystal ball, Melanie. But when you look at the track record doesn't support him.
Do we have a choice?
You got to take a gamble on Cody Bellinger. If you're not able to get a deal done for Juan Soto, you got to take a gamble on Cody Bellinger. You have to take a gamble on Cody Bellinger. Because who else is out there? Who else are you going to sign? Ain't no one available in free agency.
And we don't want to make these. We don't want any more Willie Calhouns and Frenchie Corderos. That's not going to work. No more.
Not at all.
And we don't know the status of Anthony Rizzo, right? Is Rizzo going to come back? That's another main reason to get Bellinger. That's another one
right there. I want to ask you too, TC. What do you think was hurt the Yankee season more? The wall at Dodger Stadium or Fernando Tatis's fucking ass? What do you think hurt the Yankee season more? The wall at Dodger Stadium or the rear end of Fernando Tatis? What do you think?
That's an easy one. The wall. I mean, Aaron Judge is the heart and soul of this team. You saw it last year. You saw it this year. Yeah. Rizzo makes a difference, but no, the 2 months of missing Judge could have been 6 or 7 more wins, easy, and that could have got us in the postseason. But I mean, that's a good one though, because Tatis' ass,
like Anna Marie says, Tatis' ass,
I sure hope he. I mean, I'm a big Anthony Rizzo fan. I love the guy. He's good for this team. Left-handed hitter, first baseman, but we don't know. Yeah, well, for sure.
But Tatis ass is a monster. Facts, Jacob. Facts.
Yeah.
Shout out
I
to
sure
Jacob
hope he
in the
can
chat.
bounce back. At least, I mean, he's getting up in years. He still has a bad back. I don't know. It's just tough. This team has just got it's too much age and non-athletic guys that they're kind of stuck. They're really I don't know. It's hard. There's a lot of contracts to maneuver around, and a lot of holes.
For me, right, I agree with you when it comes to the wall at Dodger Stadium and missing Aaron Judge for that amount of time. No one could predict that. But at the same time, you have to be able to have a backup plan, right? And Anthony Rizzo, he was Aaron Judge's protection in that lineup. He was the backup plan. When Aaron Judge was out, Anthony Rizzo, for the first month and a half, Anthony Rizzo was hitting 311 home runs. For the first month and a half, it looked like he was he was going to be an all-star. But then the collision with Fernando Tatis happens. And then he goes out there, continues to play with a misdiagnosed concussion. Like my guy Razil in the chat said. That right there to me is unexcusable. There should be no reason. You have millions of dollars invested into Anthony Rizzo as an organization.
Right.
How can you let that go misdiagnosed? That's what ticks me off.
Negligence.
At the highest degree, negligence, TC. There should be no reason. If you give a crap, if you care about these players so much that you're willing to renovate the clubhouse, putting sleeping pods, dining areas, food, you care about the players that much. But when it comes to the medical side of things, it shows that you don't give a fuck about any of these players. And I'm sorry to curse. I don't mean to curse, but it just frustrates me, TC, because it shows that they do not care about their players. Because if they did care about their players, that whole medical staff would have been the first thing fired once the offseason started.
It's a circus. I mean, honestly, who is running from the medical staff all the way up? It shows that there's negligence everywhere. It blows me away that this is the Yankees. This is $1 billion. What are they worth? $7-8 billion with the B. This isn't 99-cent store. This isn't
same Dollar General.
Dollar General, or I mean, this is the New York Yankees, and you're running it in the ground. Like, lucky people come out and see this team. Honestly, I can't believe that this is the Yankees.
Now, first of all, shout out to my guy Gio in the chat. Unpopular opinion. Shout out to my guy Gio. Hope all is well. Shout out to my guy Senor Acevedo, who's in the building. I appreciate you. Anthony Medina says, "Preach, Hector." My guy right. Anna Marie says, "You get a pass for that F-bomb, Hector." Anna Marie, I appreciate you, Anna Marie, for that.
But pass.
Thank you. I thank you for the pass. I'll put money into the swear jar. I pinky promise that.
Yeah.
I can hear the Yankee PR department already typing up a script for Hal Steinbrenner. And that script is going to read out, look at the injuries we had. 4 out of our 5 starting pitchers were on the IL.
Yep.
Our captain, Aaron Judge, missed 2 months of the season. Anthony Rizzo missed a month and a half of the season. DJ LeMahieu, he was injured as well. But look at our bullpen. We had the #1 bullpen in baseball. Even though when it came to runners that were inherent runners, we were the top 5 worst team in baseball. But besides that, we had the best bullpen in baseball. Right. It's the same old copy and paste excuse we've been getting for years. Yes, DJ LeMahieu was injured. We get that. Yes, Giancarlo Stanton didn't even play 100 games for the Yankees this year. We get that. Aaron Judge, we get that. But what did you do in the middle of the season when those injuries happened? What did you do to replace those players? You brought in Willie Calhoun. Yeah. You brought in Jake Bowers. That's who you brought in. You didn't go out there on the trade market and address the issues that needed to be addressed, especially left field.
They didn't.
The Texas Rangers in the offseason spent how much money did they spend? Did they wait and say, you know what, TC, we're going to wait to the trade deadline to address the left field situation? Why? Because we could do that. No, they didn't. But for some reason,
Simeon and Seager, both.
But for some reason,
two guys
the
the Yankees could have had.
The New York Yankees, the second most valuable professional sport team in all the North American sports. For some reason, the New York Yankees is saying, you know what? Left field, we don't need a left field. We'll go to the season. We'll address it when we need to address it. Is that a World Series caliber organization? Is that how championships are run? Is that how championship organizations run their teams?
No. And to me, it's they signed Aaron Judge, they signed Garrett Cole, and there's all the money. And everyone else around them, they'll just, bargain basement. That's to me what I see. I don't know if that's what you see, but that's what I see on this team. It's just 2 star players, probably the best at each position. Aaron Judge is probably the best position player out there as of today. And Garrett Cole might be the best pitcher because he's going to win a Cy Young. And they have nothing around them. They did nothing. They did absolute nothing. Bargain basement guys, recycled, DFA'd, utility, washed up guys. And that's your lineup.
Last year during the offseason, Corey Seager was available. Corey Seager, who grew up a Yankee fan, who grew up wanting to be a shortstop for the New York Yankees, who was a left-handed hitting batter as well. But what happened? We fell in love with IKF, and we decided to bring in IKF to be our shortstop, our stopgap. IKF lost his job to Peraza. Mm-hmm. He lost his job going into the postseason to a kid in the minor league system. When you could have signed Corey Seager, who's most likely going to win the AL MVP this year.
Yeah, because they put all their faith in Anthony Volpe was going to be a superstar shortstop. Because you could have waited. You could have got Seager, and you could have started off Volpe at second and waited and see, okay, Seager a couple years, then we'll move Volpe over there.
Like Razil
thought he was too good.
Like Razil says, hey, IKF is the best defensive shortstop in the game. How dare you? Yes. Yeah. We all remember when Aaron Boone said that. My guy Sunil said, changes are coming. Changes are coming. Change your underwears. Absolutely. Yeah. Because the way that the Yankees are crapping the bed right now, Ness says Cashman picked IKF over Seager, 100%. Yep. Shout out to my guy Carlos with a K in the building. Carlos, how you doing? I got 2 quotes from Brian Cashman. Now, this is from the 2019 winter meetings, right? 2018 going into the 2019 season. This is what Brian Cashman said. Now, this is all in regards to Bryce Harper. This is what Cashman said. First quote, no time at all this winter have I said I'm looking for an outfielder. When it comes to the Harper stuff, I'm surprised you guys are still asking me. That's the first quote he said. Second quote, okay, I'm sure it's a potential, it's a possibility, but it's not something that I would play on when it comes to that level and when it comes to that type of money. To play somebody like that at first base, it just makes no sense. This is all in regards to Bryce Harper.
He doesn't know a good talent when it's right in his face. He really doesn't. The kid was he's a generational talent, just like Trout, Soto, Ken Griffey was. Like those he doesn't recognize talent, so he needs to. That's one reason he needs to go. He the scouting and the development. They don't understand good players, because you could see why are you putting Willie Calhoun, Frenchie Cordero, Jake Bowers over someone like that? Like,
when this is the rest of the article, right? When he was first asked about Bryce Harper during the season with Yankees beat reporters, On the first day of the winter meetings, Cashman said, we already have outfielders. We have Aaron Hicks, Aaron Judge, Giancarlo Stanton, Brett Gardner, Jacoby Ellsbury, and Clint Frazier. We don't have room for Bryce Harper. I'm going to say it again. He said, we have Aaron Hicks, Aaron Judge, Giancarlo Stanton, Brett Gardner, Jacoby Ellsbury, and Clint Frazier. We don't have room for Bryce Harper.
You make
there's
room.
There's only one guy on that list that is still an outfielder right now, and that's Aaron Judge. Giancarlo Stanton, I don't consider him an outfielder no more. Aaron Hicks is not on the team anymore. Brett Gardner retired. Jacoby Ellsbury, he's on some island with the Yankees money, sipping on mojitos and margaritas right now. And Clint Frazier, he don't know if his name is Jackson. He doesn't know if his name is Clint. He doesn't even know if his name is Anthony. He doesn't even know what his first name is.
He doesn't even know where he is, I'm sure, right
now. But what is Bryce Harper doing? How many home runs has he hit this postseason so far, TC?
4 or 5 at least. I'm not sure. I got to look at the stats.
Bryce Harper, after yesterday's game, right? And this is what you got to love about Bryce Harper. After yesterday's game, when asked about what motivates you to perform at this level, you know what he said? Bryce Harper said, when I come to the game, and I've mentioned this already this season, when I come into the game, when I come to the stadium, I listen to the local sports radio talk show, and I can hear fans trash me, and I use that as motivation to perform because they expect me to perform at a certain level. That's what Bryce Harper said. But everybody that Brian Cashman brought in when it comes to Joey Gallo can't handle New York. The fans are too rough. Aaron Hicks, the fans are too mean. I can't handle New York. Bryce Harper listens to the sports radio in Philly, and we all know how crazy Philadelphia sports fans are. Yeah, they are just as brutal as us. He listens to them every day when he's coming into the stadium. He said he uses that as motivation so he can perform at the level that they expect him to perform. We could have had that. Bryce Harper definitely would have been a culture changer inside of that locker room. Bryce Harper was a kid that grew up in Nevada. His father was a diehard Mickey Mantle fan. He made his son into a diehard Yankee fan. How many times did Bryce Harper talk about playing for the Yankees in his career growing up? So many different, countless articles.
Didn't he shave his beard and everything?
I was just about to bring it up. When the Yankees went to Washington in the 2018 season, what did Bryce Harper do? He shaved his beard and he played first base that entire series. For the first time in his career, played first base.
But he showcased himself.
But because everybody was saying it's inevitable, for some reason, that rubbed Brian Cashman the wrong way. Other people saying that Cashman should do something rubbed Brian Cashman the wrong way. Cashman's ego got hurt because everybody's saying the Yankees are going to go out there and get this guy. So Cashman decided, you know what? We're going to pivot. We're not going to do that because we got 6 outfielders. Only one of those players are still on this team playing in the outfield on an everyday basis. Giancarlo Stanton is an everyday DH. Aaron Hicks is not even on the team anymore.
Yeah, and like Unpopular just says, missing on Bryce Harper is a fireable offense. It is. It really is. These type misses are happening over and over and over again on Brian Cashman's watch. And he's getting the wrong players. He's picking up the wrong players past their prime and missing on these young, talented phenoms, whether they the money or just keep the money out of it. Just the talent is there. He's a diehard, gritty type. He's a Paul O'Neill type player. Also gritty and.
Also, I forgot in my notes, right? When the Yankees didn't go after Bryce Harper and Manny Machado, who did the Yankees go with? Who did the Yankees sign? Who did Brian Cashman sign in the 2019 offseason?
Oof, I don't know.
You remember that story with Derek Jeter? When Derek Jeter went for his last contract negotiation with the Yankees and how Brian Cashman was trying to lowball him.
Yeah. Okay.
And Jeter said, "What shortstop do you want to be playing for the New York Yankees?" And Brian Cashman said, "Who? Troy Tulowitzki."
Oh,
well, guess what? He signed Troy Tulowitzki in that 2019 offseason.
Another guy
Tulo didn't even play 50 games for the Yankees.
Past his prime.
So instead of
Yep.
signing either Bryce Harper or Manny Machado, you decided to go with Miguel Andujar, who you could have traded that offseason, who was a young second. He was a runner-up to the AL Rookie of the Year. You could have traded him that offseason, signed Manny Machado, and you probably brought something back for Miguel Andujar. But
yeah,
instead,
they could have got Arenado, I think it was, for Andujar.
You went with Miguel Andujar, and you signed Troy Tulowitzki, who was past his prime, who you wanted instead of Derek Jeter at the time. You finally got your guy. And what happened? Egg on your face, Brian Cashman.
Mm-hmm.
Egg on your face.
Year after year. The wrong moves. Can you even name one move that he's done that you think has worked out in the last since 2009? Or did any come to your mind?
There's only one, and that's the trade for Chasen Shreve with the St. Louis Cardinals. And I'm gonna give him credit for this because he used that trade. He got two things back in return. He got extra international signing money, which he used to go after Jason Dominguez and to sign Jason Dominguez. And two, he was able to bring back Luke Voigt. And Luke Voigt did have about 2 good seasons with the Yankees. Besides that, maybe the Clay Holmes deal, maybe. But now you don't know when it comes to Clay Holmes, because is he a starter? Is he a setup man? Is he a closer? Is he a setup man when it comes to Clay Holmes? But the big moves, no. Sonny Gray didn't work out. Nope. Frankie Montage, you traded for him when he was already injured. He didn't work out. Josh Donaldson, that didn't work out.
Definitely didn't work out.
Josh Donaldson should have never ever been on this team, especially after what he said about your ace Garrett Cole. It should be no reason that man ever put on a Yankee uniform when it comes to Donaldson whatsoever. I want to shout out my sweetheart, the drunk. Shout out to my sweetheart, the drunk. Cashman acts purely on ego and hubris. Terrible qualities for a general manager. Absolutely, sweetheart. I like that name, sweetheart. Absolutely. Can't disagree with that.
Yeah. Big ego for Cashman. He can't get past that. He doesn't want to do what the fans want him to do. I see that every time. I always point it out. It's like he tries to upset us. He just, common sense is what we think, and he goes this way. He goes totally opposite.
I want to be a fly on the wall in that room. Yeah. I want to be a fly because somewhere deep down, I want to believe that Hal is angry, right? But then when you have quotes that come out and Hal saying that he doesn't see himself doing this much longer, what are we as fans supposed to? What are we supposed to do when you say those type of things, Hal? I get it. I love the fact that the Yankees are a family-run operation. I love that. You got your nephews involved. Copy. Maybe your nephews are going to take over and start running this team in 3 years. Copy. It's not right now. You need to hire the right people and put the right people in place to help you fix this organization right now. The New York Yankees, it's not an ice cream shop that's off the West Side Highway. No. It's not a mechanic shop in Red Hook, Brooklyn. No. It is a billion-dollar corporation, the New York Yankees. Now, your nephews, they probably went to a very pristine school, probably studied economics. They went to Columbia Econ. They went to wherever they went. They went to wherever they went to. They definitely went to some place that was a better college that I ever attended. but they don't have the qualifications right now to help you run this team. You need to go out there and you need to get baseball guys. And I'm going to keep on harboring at this. What did Texas do? Texas got Bruce Bochy, who is a baseball guy, an old school baseball guy.
Baseball
what
purist.
did he do? What did he do? He got Mike Maddox, Greg Maddox's brother, the legendary pitching coach from Milwaukee. And he brought him in because he's a baseball guy. What did the Houston Astros do after that whole debacle with the cheating scandal? Who did they bring in?
Dusty Baker.
What is Dusty Baker, TC?
A veteran manager.
A baseball guy.
A baseball guy, yeah.
Was Dusty Baker in the booth at the MLB network? Was Dusty Baker...
Was he?
Calling? No.
No.
But for some reason, the Yankees can't get it right.
He was a championship manager with the Giants. Go figure.
Let me see.
He doesn't know anything,
look at some of these chats before we continue. My guy Ness says, Cashman is like, F you fans. You're not smarter than me. And that includes How. How makes the money. He could care less about baseball operations and the fans. Ness, I don't want to believe that. I honestly, I don't want to believe that.
Yeah.
Because like I said, yes, he's making money.
Yeah.
Yes, he's making money. But when it comes down to it, you can have all the money in the world. That money is not going to buy you admiration or love. That money is not going to buy the fans to win you over. Right. What's going to win the fans over is if you go out there and you spend money on this team to make it better. There's no reason why the Yankees have the second highest payroll in baseball, but only 82 wins. That goes to show me you can spend all the money in the world. You're not spending it in the right places.
Right. That's the problem. That is the problem because they don't have the right personnel to make those moves. So he needs to bring in baseball guys. That's the first change. That's the number one. The architect of this system is not working. So you're going to keep Cashman. You better put some other people. Say his title stays the same, but you bring in other people that are actually doing the moves. You know, don't trust Cashman to do anything. That's I don't. You don't. None of us do.
This off season is one of the off seasons where you did it last off season. You got your glove, or you took the gloves off and you put your hands inside of it. You made that call to Aaron Judge and you re-signed Aaron Judge. You did that. Be more involved this off season. You can be more involved as an owner. You could be more vocal as an owner. Do not let Brian Cashman push you back. This is your team. This is your family legacy. This is the legacy that your father built and left for you on his deathbed.
Yeah, and I agree with Medina. Medina sums it up. You're
ahead,
right.
Read it off.
Yeah, Medina, whatever. And if the Yankees make changes, it won't make a difference because Boone is still the manager and Cashman is still the GM. Yankees will not win with that combination. And I totally agree. Because that philosophy, the way that players are treated and their attitudes, you can tell. I mean, the only one that really thinks that cares is Judge. I mean, he's coming out and saying, "Yeah, we got to make changes." He's pissed off. Everybody else is like, "Oh, whatever. We were just brought in here to be, whatever fill-ins, utility guys. We're not the old Yankees. It's a whole different philosophy, and it's got to be gutted. It has to be. And you're absolutely right, Medina. You can't win with these guys.
You still have people when it comes to the higher ups in the Yankee organization, when it comes to the Brian Cashman, Randy Levine, Fishburne, you got people that have been with the team and in their positions for over 20 years, for too long. You got to switch it up. Some of these people that they're holding positions, they've been put in those positions before the fax machine was a thing. Like, that's how long some of these people have been. How can I say, the the newest, or when it comes to like almost the newest hire, was Kevin Reese, and he got hired in 2008. That is like the newest hire that they have when it comes to the entire organization. Kevin Reese in 2008. That's 15 years ago. I just graduated high school.
Yeah, they need some fresh eyes in there and some better baseball. I mean, if this was if like Microsoft or Apple or Samsung, I mean, you were just losing to every competition. You don't think that they would redo their CEO or rehire the president? I mean, they wouldn't sit pat and let the competition just pass them by. That's what the Yankees are. The Yankees are a $1 billion company, and they're treating it like, oh well, doesn't matter. Who cares?
I want to highlight one thing before we move on. It's going to be in the same topic, but I got another graphic that I want to bring up. Shout out to my guy D-Rod, who says, everyone says it's not our money, so who are we to tell them how to spend it? We don't tell Walmart how to spend their money, but we still buy it. D-Rod, I don't know about you, but I know I'm someone that I hope that all the Walmart workers, they make a decent wage. So I definitely tell Walmart how they suspend their money. I'm not sure about you, but I know I do. When it comes to the Yankees, we spend the money there. What are the reasons why they have all these millions? What are the reasons why that team is worth what it is? That stadium that was built, half of that stadium was built with taxpayer money from New York City. You best believe I'm going to tell them how they suspend their money, D-Rod. Let's see. Because this is another graphic that I want to bring up. Because I want to ask. We got to ask this question. What the hell happened to the evil empire? What happened? Like Giant Lasagna said, you passed on Harper. You passed on Machado. You passed on Seager. If the opportunity presents itself to get Juan Soto, you do it. You can't pass on a talent like this. Be the Yankees and throw your weight around. Be the evil empire. And that's what they need to do. This offseason, they had to embrace that moniker of the evil empire. But the thing is, I have no faith in them in doing that. Like I said, I have no faith in Brian Cashman. The little bit of faith I have is how Steinbrenner, and the fact that he was embarrassed 2 seasons in a row. But that's it. Go ahead, TC.
You got to revive the prestige and the whole aura of the evil empire, and I think it all kind of after 2009 it kind of all faded away. I mean, with the old stadium, we got the new stadium, and the presence you felt when you were in that old stadium, the ghosts of Babe Ruth and Lou Gehrig and all that, and it just after 09, it just all faded away, and it didn't have that same feel, and the way they're treating the front office with the way Cashman handles his deals. They don't have that mentality anymore. They're just okay. They're just satisfied with just mediocre, and they don't have that. I don't know that. I can't think of the word.
The pizzazz. They don't got that pizzazz anymore.
Just to actually go out and they basically crush these teams. Everybody, fear the Yankees, and there's no fear anymore. It's like, you guys are, get out of here. You guys are nothing. No. You're basically Kansas City or Pittsburgh. We don't go in there and we'll handle you easily. And then that never was the case. Never.
I go back to, I think it was 2010 or 2010. Like I said, we traded for Javier Vasquez, right, in the offseason. But for some reason, at the trade deadline, Brian Cashman didn't want to trade Eduardo Nunez for Cliff Lee. I'm going to say that again. In the 2010 offseason, going into the 2010 season, we decided to trade Melky Cabrera for Javier Vasquez. But at the trade deadline, he didn't want to trade for Cliff Lee. He didn't want to trade Eduardo Nunez because he thought Eduardo Nunez was going to be the replacement for Robinson Cano. Eduardo bleeping Nunez.
Yeah, that's what I mean. They just don't have the knowledge of these players. The foreknowledge of what they're the type of player, the scouting, the develop. They don't. Every move they've made, like with players that are coming up through their system, holding on to them and not trading them in time. They've messed up on everybody other than Aaron Judge. That's everyone's a miss.
And besides the Eduardo Nunez thing, him wanting to hold on to Eduardo Nunez, he also said he wanted to wait to the offseason, right? He didn't want to overpay because we could get him in the offseason. But what happened? What happened? He decided not to come to the Yankees because Yankee fans who was at the stadium were spitting at his wife.
Right. Yep. Never should
those Yankee fans were spitting at his wife.
Disgusting.
That right there. Those are some things when you go to the stadium. I get so teed off because when we was having that conversation with Will Warren, I brought it up. There's certain factions of Yankee fandom, right? There's I would say three factions, right? There's the diehards like us, like myself, TC, everybody that's in the chat, Anna Marie, my sweetheart, D-Rod, Dr. Hitskins. We are all diehard Yankee fans. We probably invest every inning, every pitch, every at-bat into watching this team. Then you have the normie Yankee fan, the average person that, you know, they pay attention to the team, but they're not fully invested. Occasional fans. And then you got the arrogant young fans that come from Westchester or Long Island. They go to Yankee Stadium. They spend cheap tickets on the stadium, but at the same time, they're the first one to say a curse word because their parents aren't around. Those are the three type of Yankee fans you got. The later one, the third one, that young kid that is always in the stadium cursing, those are the Yankee fans that I despise. Those are the Yankee fans that decided to spit on Cliff Lee's wife. And that's why Cliff Lee didn't sign with the Yankees. That's why I said, if you guys are out there, I'm not telling people how to police other people when it comes to their fandom. But if you see some fans acting out of pocket, call them out. Nip that shit in the butt. There should be no reason why IKF's father is getting death threats. There should be no reason that I think Brian Cashman's niece or Hal Steinbrenner's niece is getting threats on Instagram and Twitter. That shouldn't happen whatsoever. So if you're a fan out there, if you see some fan acting up, nip that shit in the butt. Go ahead, TC. I see you laughing over there.
Yeah. Just shout out to Tats. We don't, no offense to Long Island. I know you live there. No, Hector meant no harm on that.
Not you. You're not the young kids from Long Island. You're not. And D-Rod, just so you know, the Yankees. You can buy stocks in the Yankees. The New York Yankees are a publicly traded organization. The Yankees LLC is a privately traded entity. So when it comes to the New York Yankees, you can buy stocks in the team. But when it comes to the New York Yankees LLC, the corporation, you can't buy stocks in that. But the team, you definitely could buy stocks in it.
Yeah, no, I agree with you with the type of fans. I mean, they're all there. They're drunk fans. You get them everywhere too. I mean, out here, you go to a Dodger game, forget about it. They have fights and whatnot, and there's no need of that. You're there to see a ball game. That should be your number one thing, not how much beer you can drink and how ignorant you can be. And there's kids here, and there's just no need of that. And those type fans, we don't need them in Yankee Stadium. And it's sad. It affected a player that we could have got. And so,
and like Dan C says, Hal is technically the managing partner, not owner, and that's a fact right there. Right, when it comes to Hal and his position, he is voted in by the shareholders. Hal, he has majority ownership when it comes to shares. So I think that Steinbrenner family, they have over 55 or 58% of shares when it comes to the New York Yankees. So they vote on who's in the
Majority
position.
owner, yeah.
So how Steinbrenner is voted into that position because of the amount of shares that him and the Steinbrenner family hold. That's why you ever hear or have you ever seen in movies, they have corporate takeovers. What that means is my family may have started the corporations, but I lose a lot of my shares. Other people have more shares than me, so they vote me out and do a corporate takeover. If you've seen like different movies or shows that pop up a lot. But getting back into this, let's see. Oh, my guy Yankee Files on Twitter. This is a great account also on Twitter. Make sure you guys go follow him. It is absolutely amazing how many bad decisions the Yankees have made since George Steinbrenner controlled the team. Say what you want about George, but always made an effort to make major changes when things didn't go right. He made many bad moves, but not as bad as recently. And there was a video that was circulating, some people on Twitter. Shout out to my guy, The Real Boshak, on Twitter yesterday. They were circulating a video after the Yankees lost the 2001 World Series to the Arizona Diamondbacks. There's a video circulating around of George Steinbrenner and his face. And George literally said, "I will be back." And you could just tell on his face that he was saying, you guys know who I'm going to buy. I'm going to buy Jason Giambi. What happened? Jason Giambi became a Yankee. Now, did we win championships with Jason Giambi? Absolutely not. We didn't win that one championship with Jason Giambi. But what did George do after losing Game 7 of the World Series? He said, "I'm going to open up this book and I'm going to add." And he added the number one free agent that offseason in Jason Giambi. That's what Hal needs to do this offseason. Whether that is signing Yamamoto, whether that is signing Cody Bellinger, whether that is trading for Juan Soto and giving him a contract extension, something needs to change this offseason, and he needs to channel his inner George Steinbrenner circa 2001.
Yeah, totally agree. And it needs to happen quick. And I was going to bring up, how much of an effect do you think Garrett Cole and Aaron Judge will have in this room, or in this? They say they're going to be involved in some of the decisions in the offseason. Do you think that they will have any effect on what Cashman and Hal do?
No, but I just want to ask, D-Rod, what do you mean by this? This week, the Yankees aren't penny pitchers. 2 weeks ago, they were. At least have some consistency, please. I have no idea what you mean by that, D-Rod. So if you can, please explain yourself in the chat, because I'm getting lost with this comment right here. Go ahead, TC.
Yeah, I mean, when you want to talk about penny, I mean, it's not so much the money. They have the money. They're spending it in the wrong way.
Yeah, so I think that's something that you and we've been saying consistently over the past 2 weeks. So I don't know what D-Rod means.
They've spent almost $300 million, but look at the team they have. You got to spend it in the right way. You can't just throw millions of dollars at these washed up players. You gotta get the right personnel in here. Yamamoto makes a lot of sense. Young pitcher. Bellinger makes sense because of versatility. First, we don't know about Rizzo. He plays the outfield. Soto makes a tremendous amount of sense. Even if you have to give up some of your prospects, those are the type moves they need to make some difference on this team. There has to be that kind of move. You're not going to change this team by picking up these washed up Josh Donaldson deals, Montas deals, and so on and so forth. You gotta pick up some young guys around these Aaron Judge and Garrett Cole. The window is closing, and you gotta do it now. This is super important offseason. Super.
My guy, Uncle Grandpa Tat says, "Can I add that the graphic of the evil emperor will make a sick tattoo?" Of course, Mr. Tattoo Man, you would want that.
Yeah. Where are you going to put that? He's running out of room.
He's running out of. He has no more canvas space for any of his tattoos. Yeah. Listen, not sure if he wants the evil emperor on his back like a tramp stamp, But hey, whatever floats your boat, Uncle Tats.
Don't do that. Don't do any on your face either. Come on.
Now, Anna
don't do
Marie
that.
says, what have you thought about Torres tweets? Great way to segue into Gleyber Torres because we got some rumors. Gleyber Torres is going to be on the trade block this winter. My guy Jimmy Randazzo, he puts out a great point. Gleyber Torres is not a free agent until 2025. The Yankees need to add multiple bats this offseason to contend. Trading away Gleyber Torres or trading him away unless you're getting Soto makes little to no sense. And I've been one saying that the only way we should trade Gleyber Torres is if we have a replacement in the offense or if we upgrade the offense. If we don't upgrade the offense, I'm not one that's just want to randomly just to trade Gleyber Torres. Go ahead.
No, again, if we're not getting major league talent or impact bat or impact starting pitcher, no, I'm not trading Gleyber Torres. He's the least of. I mean, yeah, he frustrates us, with his base running and some of his fielding, but offensive, we need offense, and he's basically the second, third best hitter on our team. We can't trade him away. We have nothing. So,
yeah.
Offense is a huge key to this team, and no, he should be the least of our worries about trading right now. There's other guys that we need to trade, get rid of, free agents. No, I'm not even thinking about Gleyber Torres right now. No.
My guy Yankee Files again with another one. He said Gleyber Torres has a 127 postseason WRC plus. This puts him ahead of such great Yankees as Derek Jeter, Alex Rodriguez, Bernie Williams, Paul O'Neill, Jorge Posada, and Tino Martinez. In fact, he is fourth in WRC plus among all Yankees with at least 100 postseason plate appearances since 1996. When you look at those numbers, it make you wonder, wow, should we even get rid of Gleyber Torres? But even with Gleyber Torres, we haven't even gotten to the World Series. We haven't even gotten to the World Series with Gleyber Torres. So as good as those numbers are those numbers a little bit skewed? Are they manipulated? I'm not sure. The numbers are what the numbers are. You can't lie against the numbers. But TC, this makes it hard to bite on the idea that we should just trade Gleyber Torres.
So you're in favor of trading him?
No. I'm saying it makes it. It's hard for me to bite on the idea of trading Gleyber Torres, especially when you look at those numbers.
Yeah, I just don't see that as a possibility. But knowing Cashman, he'll probably do something stupid and make a move like that. But no, I mean, if we can get some other hitters around Gleyber and Aaron Judge, that just makes us so much better. The glaring issue is that there's only one or two guys in this lineup. There's no help. Guys are hitting 200 or below. Every single hitter. We saw it through the season. There's just nothing in this lineup. And you get rid of him, who are you going to bring in? I don't know. I mean, you got to hold on to guys that are actually making an impact in this lineup. And getting rid of him, now you got a huge hole. I mean, you got DJ LeMahieu could fill in at second, but we all saw what the drop in numbers. So Gleyber's only 20. What is he? 25, 26? I mean, he's a young guy. I mean, I'm not saying extend the guy, but you got to let him ride out the season. And who knows, at your trade deadline, maybe you unload him. But at the end of the year, you see what you got and see what happens. But I'm not in favor of trading him at all. No.
Yeah. Like Medina said, I would trade Torres, but not just for anyone. He has high value now, and I wouldn't trade him just to trade him. Absolutely. 100%. Melanie in the chat said they are boring. Who are you talking about, the Yankees? Or I'm not sure who you're talking about right now, Melanie. But thank you for being in the chat and contributing to the conversation. Shout out to my guy FJ. Isn't Torres up for another arbitration? He definitely is. And Anna Marie put it in the chat. He made $10 million this season, and with the season he had, he could potentially make 15. He could potentially make 15 in arbitration. It's not like he had a bad season. Defensively, he was probably one of the worst defenders, if not the worst defender at second base. But when it comes to his offense, he's probably the best offensive second baseman behind Simeon.
Yeah. Right. I don't know if he was the worst second base. You think he was the worst defensive second baseman?
Defensively, if he wasn't the worst, he was definitely top 5 when it comes to worst defensive second baseman in baseball. Definitely.
And he definitely has to clean up his base running. That's a bad move. But Unpop, I think, wants to make a wager here. He says,
where's Pop at?
Did you see Unpop?
He said, TC, I bet you trade Gleyber and this team gets better. Wait, what? Listen,
he thinks if we trade Gleyber, we're gonna get better.
It all depends on what we bring back.
Yeah,
like if we don't bring back another bat to supplement Gleyber Torres, you got Donovan from St. Louis who could play second base, third base, and the corner outfield spots. So if we get Donovan, who's a left-handed hitter, high on base guy, you can have him as a leadoff hitter. That's a way that we could trade Gleyber Torres. I don't mind trading Gleyber Torres if we get that swap.
Yeah,
I'm not saying trade Gleyber for him. I'm just saying trade for him and then trade Gleyber to someplace else.
Yeah, well, we can't bring back prospects. No, we can't do that.
No,
and we can't count on Peraza and Cabrera as replacements. I mean, look at their hitting. Their batting average super low. You can't replace Gleyber with those two guys. So
no,
we got to bring back major talent.
As much as TC, you and I've talked, and people in the chat talk. As much as we talked about wanting to see these young kids produce with the Yankees at the major league level, we can't just put all of our eggs in the basket and rely on all of these young kids. We can't go into next season and have Estevan Florial be our center fielder, Everson Pereira be our left fielder, Peraza be our third baseman. We trade Gleyber Torres and Cabrera as our second baseman, with Volpe as our shortstop and Austin Wells as our catcher. We can't go into the season with that. We just can't.
That's a rebuild. That's a disaster. That you're looking at getting worse. 75 win team. I mean, that's you can't do it.
Peraza
now with this payroll.
Peraza, he has showed elite defense, like Sean Brownie says. He shows that he could be an elite defender at this level. It's just his offense. We've seen small sample sizes of Peraza's offense. We haven't seen it over a long period of time. That's the only thing I'm saying.
They had a whole month too of September.
He performed well in the month of September. If I had to go with one of these young guys, whether that be Peraza, Florial, Pereira, or even Austin Wells, if I had to go with any one of those four for a long stretch of time during the regular season, it'll be Peraza before anybody else.
I think he's had the most chances and most at bats and I mean, for me, I don't know. I think I think Austin Wells is gonna get the first shot at being the starting catcher next season. I'm not sure if Peraza is gonna, the way they've treated Peraza, I don't know if he automatically gets a roster spot on this team next year, depending on what they do in the offseason. They start bringing in free agents and make trades, which they should. You can't rely on these young kids, so I don't know.
Philo just said something interesting. I can have Florial be the center fielder until Dominguez comes back if Juan Soto is your left fielder and Florial can be the fourth. Philo, I'm right there with you, Philo, 100%. If the Yankees go out there and trade for Juan Soto and put him in left field, I will live with Estevan Florial in center until the Martian comes back, 100%.
For sure.
100%. Yeah. I can live with that. But like Anthony Medina says, I don't see Pereira as an everyday left fielder next year. I think he's trade bait. And even if he is trade bait, what much are we going to get back? He didn't even hit a home run while he was up here. He didn't even hit a home run while he was up here.
Yeah, he might be an okay outfielder, but he didn't show anything with the bat, and he had struck out a lot. Yeah, I don't know. Ugh. Tough. But yeah, we
Yankee
can't go
King
in with
says,
prospects
okay, I
this
find
next offseason.
hypocrisy. Yankee fans want to get younger, yet don't want to go with the youth. We want to get younger, Yankee King. We don't want 6 spots to be filled by rookies. That's the only issue. That's the only issue you don't seem to understand. All of us Yankee fans want to get younger. We don't want 6 of those spots to be handed by rookies or second-year players. Austin Wells.
Our young kids. There's other teams that kids, right?
Yeah. So this is the thing. Wells as a catcher, Peraza as a third baseman, Volpe as your shortstop, Pereira as your left fielder, Esteban Florial as your center fielder. Those are 5 players that are either rookies or second-year players. I don't want 5 out of my 9 position players to be second-year or rookie players. That's just
and they all hit 200 or less. Can't do that.
Exactly.
No way.
That's why I want to trade for Juan Soto, who's a young player as well. Li, that's how you get young.
A lot of problems. Exactly.
That's how you get young. Trading for a guy like Juan Soto, who is 24, going to be 25. That's how you get young. Yankee King.
Sign me up for that. Yes, sir.
Shout out to my guy Felipe Lopez in the building. Trade Torres for Cabrera and Garrett from Miami. Now that could be that's interesting. That just means that we have more trade pieces. Michael King is available then. Nestor Cortez is available because you're bringing in 2 other extra pitchers. But I do like that. In Miami, for some reason, they love Gleyber Torres, that team in Miami. For some reason, and the reports are coming out that Miami is going to go hard after Gleyber Torres this offseason. Now,
really?
I understand Miami, they have a huge Cuban population, but at the same time, they have a huge Venezuelan population as well. So Gleyber Torres may be a guy that they want to bring in just to satisfy that fan base. And maybe. Also, he's a damn good hitter as well.
Give us a good deal coming back.
My guy 19 comment in the building said, are the Yankees going to put the Martian back in center field right after the Tommy John surgery? Yeah, but I think they'll have him go through the minor leagues. They'll put him in AAA first, let him get a little bit hot before they bring him back up. 100% comment. Shout out to my guy 19 comment in the building as well.
Yeah, but Li, the difference is those guys are hitting and they're producing. Our guys aren't. So that's why they're in the NLCS.
Yeah, you got 5 of those guys that I mentioned. Only one of them hit above 200, and that was Anthony Volpe. Every other one of those guys in Esteban Florial for a brief period of time. So you got 2 out of those 5 guys that hit over 200. You got to
compare the stats. Compare. Come on.
Yeah, and
apples and oranges.
The Diamondbacks rookies were ranked way higher than the Yankees. When they were prospects, they were ranked way higher than the Yankees.
Oh, yeah.
My guy Jacob says, I hate to say it, but I will be in favor of trading Gleyber, mostly because he has value now and could get a lot in return. But also, he's a massive liability on defense and running the bases. Listen, Jacob, that last part, I ain't disagreeing with you whatsoever. I don't think TC's going to disagree with you as well, either when it comes to that.
No, I would trade him as well if we get a good return. I'm not trading him for prospects. That's bottom line.
Yeah. My guy, Unpopular Opinion, Gio said, I don't think our guys not hitting isn't about ability. It's about philosophy. It's a Yankee problem, not a prospect problem. I see it as 50-50. And I agree with you. The philosophy has to change, but at the same time, those young kids still got to be able to hit. You got to show some ability to be able to distinguish between your fastball and the breaking pitch.
But also it's in the drafting. If they're scouting a certain player to fit into their philosophy, they're scouting the wrong style, the wrong player, because they just want exit velocity and launch angle and home run hitters. They're not looking for pure hitters. You can see it up and down. Look at the prospects we had this year. None of them hit over 200. Can't win like that. An occasional home run, not going to work. Sorry.
Yeah. Hey, I'm not in disagreement with you whatsoever, TC. Yeah. All right, but we got to get out of here. Before we get out of here, let's just look at the playoff structure right now. When we come back next week, Tuesday, and next week, Thursdays, both days will be open panel days, just because I haven't been able to do the open panel because of everything that's been going on. I got a doctor's appointment later on today. So next week, both Tuesdays and Thursdays will be open panels. So now
looking forward to that.
The playoff structure, hold on. To the game today. Yes, we got the Phillies and the Braves. Philly leads the series 2-1. They play later on today at 8:07. But one thing I'm going to say is, TC, I'm a bit happy that all 3 AL East teams are home right now. Not going to lie.
Yeah,
not going to lie. I'm a bit happy. Baltimore, Tampa, and Toronto all had to go start their vacation early with the Yankees.
Yeah, 100-win season didn't do much for you there, Baltimore, but
down the tube.
But the all Texas ALCS, I'm looking forward to seeing that. And the next team,
I'm rooting for the Rangers. I'm rooting for the Rangers. 100%.
I might go buy Texas gear and just run around, run around with Ranger gear and Corey Seager jersey or something. I mean, I hope they destroy them. And Verlander. I don't know if you guys saw the postseason or the post game celebration. They let him. He was cussing and they let it go. It was ridiculous. He's in 0-1-7. I was like, get out of here. You know, it made me so mad. I hope the Yankees are watching that. Gosh.
And like Jacob said, let's not forget, Arizona barely won 2 more games than the Yankees in the regular season. So they're just getting hot at the right time. Absolutely, Jacob.
That's another one. That was a big shock.
And the big difference between the Yankees and the Arizona Diamondbacks, their starting pitching was healthy. The Yankees starting pitching this year, besides Garrett Cole, was horrible. Yeah. Every one of our starting pitchers was on the IL. Everyone. 4 out of our 5 starting pitchers going into the season on the IL. Go ahead, TC.
No, when it comes to Arizona, I think we did like a roundtable of who we thought in the preseason, who we thought was teams to look out, and I think we both mentioned Texas and Arizona, and you know, we threw in Baltimore, but my team, I mentioned, I said look out for the Texas Rangers, and I think you said Arizona. So look at we see what these teams are doing better than Cashman. So.
I want to ask you, and I want to ask the chat as well before we get out of here, because I got 3 minutes before I wrap this up. What's
D-Rod asking me about?
Who was more of a disappointment? I don't know what D-Rod.
He said I didn't reply or something. I'm not D-Rod. What are you asking for?
I didn't see that earlier, D-Rod. So many questions were coming in.
Did your light go out there, Hector? You look like you're in the dark.
No. I was just trying to find what D-Rod was talking. Sorry, D-Rod. I didn't see your message when it came through. But no, I want to ask you and ask the chat as well. Who's more of a disappointment, right? More of a disappointment. The LA Dodgers or the Atlanta Braves? If the Braves don't make it past the first round, who is more of a disappointment? The Dodgers or the Braves?
I'm going to say the Braves because everyone thought they were going to just coast to the World Series. The way they were running away with the vision and this year, I think the Braves it's a more disappointment. Last year I would have said the Dodgers, but this year, yeah, I mean the Dodgers are disappointing, but they've had a lot of things just go the wrong way at the end of the season. All their pitchers are hurt. Urias got kicked out, and it just. Yeah, it all kind of fell apart. But I would say the Braves are a bigger disappointment because honestly, I didn't think the Phillies had it in them. I mean, but they're showing again like the grit they had last year. Wild card team knocking out the Braves, and they're going to they're 1 game away from doing it again. So, hey, they know something. But yeah, Braves are more disappointing, I think.
I would say the Braves also. The Braves, Matt Olson, 50 home runs, Ronald Acuna, and a historic season. They had like 80 stolen bases,
loaded
if I'm not mistaken, on 70.
Yeah.
Loaded with all-stars, homegrown talent. It's just the Phillies. And this is all hypothetical. Because Philly is leading the series right now 2-1. Philly can close it out right now. Philly, they just have that grit. Just have that grind, right? You look at the players that are on that team. Bryce Harper, he should be a Yankee. Should be Kyle Schwarber, should be a Yankee, should be hitting bombs in Yankee Stadium.
Yeah.
Those are two guys that the Yankees whiffed on. Trey Turner is a guy that if Aaron Judge signed with San Francisco, Brian Cashman, according to the rumors and reports, wanted to go after Trey Turner. Can you imagine that? Real Milton. No, but hold on. Can you imagine that? With the season that Trey Turner have, if Aaron Judge would have went to San Francisco and the Yankees signed Trey Turner with the horrible season he had, Yankee fans, how they would have treated Trey Turner?
Oh, man.
Brian Cashman's lucky that Hal Steinbrenner stepped in and got that deal done. He's lucky because if Aaron Judge would have walked and he would have signed Trey Turner to replace Aaron Judge, Jesus Christ.
Oh, we would have been a 60-win team, maybe 65.
60, 70 wins easily. TC, I love you, my brother. Appreciate everybody that's in the chat. Thank you guys for tuning in. If you guys can, please smack that like button. Make sure you guys tune in later on tonight. Make sure you guys follow us on Twitter, Morning Brew Sports on Twitter, Yanks Morning Brew on Twitter. We will be going live tonight with the Knicks recap. It's going to be myself, my brother Phil, my guy Jigga Man Porto, and our fourth member, Jerry Ferrara. It's going to be the first time the four of us are together when it comes to the Knicks Morning Brew. Make sure you guys tune into that. The Knicks recap, the Knicks digest later on tonight. But TC, any last words?
Just, hang in there, Yankee fans. We got to, sit back and watch some real teams play in the playoffs and take some notes and bring some good info back to us on Tuesday about who, what type guys we need, and open panel on Tuesday. Bring the heat. We want to hear from you guys, and we thank you all for showing up. Hector, love you, man, and we're still praying for you. Still help.
Appreciate that, bro.
Our hearts go out to you. With the loss, but you know what? Great work. You're grinding through it, and that's a true champion right there. That's a true champion you are, and appreciate all you do for the show. We all we're all hanging in there with you. We're here for you, buddy.
I appreciate all of you guys. I definitely do. Like always, I love everybody in the chat. Thank you guys for being a part of this great conversation. But like always,
yes, sir.
Deuces.